what's going on. And let me get this set up here as we go to the recorder. We're going to certainly record this, and we'll have this show as well as every other show up and ready for you to listen on the website as you choose to. All right, here we go. Let me go right into the breaking news now that I'm set up with all the recording and got all the preliminaries out of the way. The first show when I get back from a vacation is always just like any other job. It takes just a few minutes to get oriented, and here I am. So, of course, the first article I want to cover is the SARS article. It is rather chilling. The title of this article I wrote this morning called SARS Becoming Out of Control. Today, the World Health Organization, known as WHO, released an urgent warning to the world as a result of ongoing assessments as to the nature of outbreaks of severe acute respiratory syndrome, known as SARS, in Beijing, in Shanxi Province, China, Toronto. The WHO is now recommending as a measure of precaution that persons planning to travel to those destinations consider postponing all but essential travel. This temporary advice, which is an extension of travel advice previously issued, will be released in 3 weeks. Will be reassessed in 3 weeks' time. Now, it's important to note that this alert is highly unusual, folks. That we rarely see the WHO put out such a warning. That's what kind of sent out a red flag to this. Who we would normally see this from is the CDC or from the Red Cross themselves, or even FEMA, but not the WHO. So the reason for that, of course, is that when you involve the WHO, now we're speaking of a possible world epidemic, or something that threatens all the people of the world. Now, a little caveat to this, folks. There are some who staunchly believe that this SARS business is smoke and mirrors. That it is by far, many people think, as much as 100 times less fatal than a typical year's pneumonia fatality rate. Isn't that interesting? Now, what that tells me, folks, it doesn't matter either way that you cut it. Either if SARS is real, I'm very suspicious as who and what is behind it, or is SARS made up? And I'm just as interested in who and what is behind it. Could this be a continuation of the watch the bouncing ball, smoke and mirrors grand illusion? Could there be more to my analogy of the frog slowly cooking in the stealth-laden pot, not realizing the temperature was rising? It was so subtle that the frog did not jump out and died. It is no longer, or is it no longer safe in even my own country here in the United States? And the reason I pose that is, over these last several weeks, I'm really challenged with trust. Have you noticed? Let me ask you, audience. Let me put it to you. Have you noticed an almost deadly silence from our congressmen and senators that are always barking when things like this come up? What on earth is going on? Who and what has such a stranglehold on our governmental array of interaction, of the way our government is set up to respond, of check and balances? What could be threatening individual congressmen and individual senators who have always been independent, and yet we have not heard from any of them? No, what we do is we bounce on the Dixie Chicks. By the way, folks, I think we all should band together and go buy all the Dixie Chick records. I'll tell you, I really don't know them, much of them. I believe they're like a cross-country band type thing. But I don't care. I'm going to buy their album anyway, just to show my, at least it gives me the illusion of having some say, some power, some leverage. It's unbelievable what's going on. I told many of you in an article I wrote yesterday, the world will end as we know it, which is a true Hopi prophecy statement. It's reflected in the Mayan prophecy, echoed in the biblical prophecy, as well as 32 other ancient text artifacts. And I'm so glad to have my guest on tonight, who is Ian Lungold, because Ian and I, we've been talking now for years. I've had him on the show many, many times, and we've often thought about this thing of this what we call transition, of leaving one world and coming into another. And I believe in all our previous interviews we discussed that in the setup of huge events that could externally occur, but then we also speak very much, especially in the Mayan manner, of the changes that go on within us. So neither one of them touch this new thing that I wrote yesterday. One is external, that Ian and I have spoke about, of earthquakes and tsunamis and asteroids and solar flares. And we have spoke quite a bit of internal changes, such as an internal conflict that may be coming upon us, such as choosing the road of compassion and truth versus choosing the road of denial, deception, anger, and negative energy, basically. But neither one of those touched this one that I wrote yesterday. And I'm just going to touch on this very, very briefly. It was kind of an awakened dream. It had the essence of, again, watch the bouncing ball. It was though, and I'm going to go ahead and read this directly. It was though looking at an abstract painting, trying to find its meaning. What appeared was a fast-moving stream hidden underneath flowing and flowerful figures, presenting a snapshot of routine, sameness, stability, giving the impression of all is well. The hidden flow suddenly became a fast-moving current of lava, burning everything it touched. It was truly magnificent, yet horrifying. It was as if the fiber of civilization was being torched piece by piece. It appeared as a river winding its way through the infrastructure of life itself. I suddenly realized a new meaning of scorched earth. This time it is occurring within and finding its way to the surface. It's the opposite of a marshmallow catching fire and then burning to the core. It was more like a microwave oven which cooks from the inside, then explodes to the surface. Now, I won't go any further with that, folks, other than to say what I was referring to, obviously, at least hopefully now you know obviously, was what is this puppet show that we're seeing? Who are the players? And could it truly be that something so magnificent and all-encompassing in size be hidden in plain sight? Could this truly be occurring without a stir? What pressure? What energy? What is suppressing or holding us back? It is very strange. Now, going to an article that came up just a few hours ago. Actually, I received it this morning. I have it up on the breaking news page today. Russian official predicts catastrophic events. This was released just this morning. Now, here's what is alarming about this article. I'm going to read it to you. It's 3 or 4 very short sentences. A top Russian foreign minister official was quoting a saying yesterday in Tokyo that a catastrophic, quote, catastrophic development of events in the U.S. North Korean nuclear standoff was imminent and could occur within the next day. That's right, folks, tomorrow. Here's the quote again. It is it is probable that as early